Okay, the next practice page you're going to look at is deriving y equals mx. So find that page. This, what's happening on this page, you already have in your notes. Okay, this was done on the pink lesson 3 packet. But let's go through it one more time. It says we know the graphs for direct variation always go through the origin. Okay, remember direct variation means proportional. That's what we're talking about. Knowing that, let's derive the equation for direct variation. So all we're doing on this type of problem is I'm taking 2 points. Now this is a line that I have no idea what the line even is. It's like a made-up, make-believe line. However, if it's proportional, it always goes through the origin, so I know 0, 0 is a point for sure. The other point, I have no clue what it is, so I'm going to call it x and y, because it's an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 points, 0, 0, and x, y, and we're going to stick them into the slope formula. Okay? So what I have is I have my second y. I have my second y minus my first y. And I have my second x minus my first x. So y minus 0, x minus 0. That gives me my equation after I simplify. Y over x equals m. I want y by itself, so I'm going to multiply x on each side. It's going to cancel out my x's on the left and leave me with y equals mx. More than likely, you will not ever be asked to do this. However, it's just a good reminder of how to solve equations, and it's a good reminder of substitution, and there's a lot of basic skills that are really nice to go through here. Okay, so another reminder that they have written here for you. Follow along with me. It says, so in a direct variation equation, okay, so each of these this is always going to be proportional if you get a y equals mx equation. The m represents the constant of proportionality, which is also the unit rate. Okay, this is just vocabulary that's interchangeable, and you need to know each of them. So example, which functions show a proportional relationship? How do you know? So let's look at my first one. First one is a table, and it says, yes, it passes through 0, 0. Now with a table, if you don't see the 0, 0, this one's obvious because it's written in the table. If you don't see that, you have to figure out if it's there or not. And you'll see one that does that in just a minute. But we do have the 0, 0 in the table laid out in front of us. That's the origin, so that's why it's a yes. Okay. Number 2 is a graph. Yes, it passes through 0, 0. It's my origin. Okay. And my third one is an equation, and my equation says yes because it's in y equals mx format. Okay. So because it's in that format of y equals mx, I know that it's proportional. Now let's take a look at these 3 over here that are not, and why they are not. So the graph should be pretty simple, because if it doesn't go through the origin, it's not proportional. So because it never crosses the origin, it's going to be a no. Now for the equation, when it says not y equals mx, see this minus 3 at the end? That is the part that makes this not equaling my mx. That minus 3 throws a wrench in the whole mix. And we'll look more at that next in the next part of the unit. Okay. So because there was something written after the mx, that's why that's the issue right there. And then finally, my last one is this table, and this is important. We don't see a 0, 0 here. Does not mean it's not there. Okay, so I want you to be careful. I'm going to rewrite this table for just a minute. So again, just because you don't see it does not mean it's not there. Okay, what I'm going to do is we're going to take a look. Let me erase the x and y here. I'm going to look at the pattern, and I'm going to determine, could 0, 0 be a possibility? Okay, so if I need to work my way down so that I can get this missing ordered pair here. Because if you noticed, you see how this is going down by 1 on my y values? So this next one would be a 0, which is promising. Okay, that looks good. I've got half my origin listed there. Now with my x's, I'm going down by 3. Down by 3, 3 minus 3 is 0. Ding, 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 ding. That is a proportional relationship. Just because 0, 0 is not listed does not mean it isn't there. These lines go on forever. Just because they don't show it to you doesn't make it not proportional. So be very, very careful. Okay, so how can you tell? From a table, the ordered pair 0, 0 is listed or is possible if the pattern is followed. So if you follow the pattern like we did on the last one and you find that 0, 0 is one of the ordered pairs, you're good. Now, a side note really quick, I'm going to show you an example of when that wouldn't work. Okay. When that wouldn't work, if we take a look at this table of information, well, I'm going down by 1 on my x's. That's promising. That gets me 0. And I'm going down by 2. When I get here and I go down by 2, I'm at 4. This right here is the problem. That is not the origin, not going to happen. That is not a proportional relationship because I would need to have 0 for the x and 0 for the y. So just so you know, if you extend that pattern, if you get 0 and something else, not proportional. All right. Now, if you're given a graph, the line passes through the origin. Side note, you may have to extend the line using the slope. And what that means is you might have to do the rise and run and work your way down and see if it goes through the origin or not. Again, just because it doesn't show you doesn't mean that it's not true. So if I had a line like this, and I'm not even going to be perfect, but if I had a line right here, no, it doesn't go through the origin the way it looks right now. However, if I were to follow my slope pattern, look at that, it would extend through. So just because it doesn't show you right off the bat doesn't mean it doesn't go through. Same thing like with the table. Just because you didn't see 0, 0 on the table doesn't mean 0, 0 is not an option. Okay, and finally with the equation, if it's in y equals mx format, it is proportional. Okay, so those are the 3 ways that you can tell. This is definitely something that I would add to my notes, this little tip sheet right here. And that's it.